Well, welcome back. Coach Decker did such a good job. I said, you guys stay on. We got a couple more minutes. Let's get some more questions out of the way. And you were kind of talking about football before we went to break. And last year, you guys 4-6 made the playoffs. And you said you're excited because it's getting to be football season. You know, how well do you think? You said you had a lot of guys coming out. You think it'll be a big step this year for Coach Nelson and the team?
I think so. You know, the thing is with the schedule, we could be better and still have the same record. Play a tough schedule. You know, we got Warren East and the referees both starting off with. Hopefully, we'll be more competitive with them last year. Of course, they put it to us pretty good last year, but except we could be better and still have the same record. Go to Fort Campbell first round of the playoffs, but even then we'll be happy with that. But you know, taking the steps, getting more kids out. Of course, you guys know football's a numbers game as well as I do, and they've done a great job on getting kids out to develop some depth, and I think that's something that we really didn't have a lot of last year.
Well, Coach, I know I'm starting to show my age because I complain about the weather and I'm up earlier than I used to be, but it seems like these summers are they're a lot hotter now than they used to be. For you guys, when you start looking at heat index for football, those are things the KHSAA has provided some guidelines to help in that process. But how nerve-wracking or difficult is that for you, knowing that it seems like these temperatures keep rising, the safety is so important for the kids, and you're kind of over all of that? Right.
Well, you know, that's a great question. The KHSAA mandates that the coaches, every coach, no matter what sport, takes the heat training, you know, online. So all our coaches are training that. We have a certified trainer from West Kentucky Orthopedics. He's there every practice, every day, takes a heat index for us. So I feel comfortable there because you know as well as I do, sometimes your coaches may fudge a little bit. Not saying Coach Nelson would, but he could. And so with a trainer, we're not going to fudge on that. You know, whatever the trainer says is what we're going to go by there. And so I feel comfortable with that. But it's you know, the coaches have to do all this stuff, and sometimes they don't want to, but you just got to say, guys, something's going to happen to us one of these days. We have to be prepared for it. Yeah. So I feel comfortable with that.
I got to imagine it's nice having that trainer, too, because I would think some of those times they probably have to force some of those kids to drink water. They probably want to show that their football being such I've got to be a tough sport, that they maybe don't want to show weakness and have water, but it's with it being so hot, it's like, look, you've got to drink this water. Right,
and of course they encourage them to hydrate, you know, before practice, you know, at night, the night before and things. So we're in good hands with our coaching staff and with our trainers, so I feel good there. You know, of course, same thing with soccer, the outside sports, but they do a great job. They're trained. But again, you just never know when something could happen.
Well, Coach, I would feel like the student athletes being so ingrained in being part of the sports and being the ones who are there playing the games, that they really bought into being a Spartan and what that meant. From a fan's perspective, how has that come along? It seems like, you know, it's kind of a new brand identity for most of the parents and most of the kids. Have they really started to buy in, and how's the support been for the program?
We've got great support from our parents, our booster clubs. Now, you know, our first year at South Warren, we still had Gators, we still had Dragons, and that was to be expected. You know, you could understand that. This year was a lot better. This past year was a lot better. We're starting to come together. We're a South Warren community. I expect this year is going to take off even more. You know, a lot of those people have already graduated, and of course, you know, the older kids that are still in school, I think they've kind of gotten past their old schools and really accepted South Warren. So we're excited with the direction we're going there.
Now you talked about baseball, saying Coach Gates saying you guys want to build a program, and you know, I kind of go back to football, looking at it, and point being, I think Clay Nelson walked on to Western Kentucky.
Right.
You know, he's going to walk on, try to be a kicker there. How, you know, I got to imagine that's pretty good to show, you know, these kids coming up, hey, if you guys come in and do the right thing, there's a chance you can go on and walk on or play at the next level.
Right. It doesn't matter where you go to school. If you're good enough, you're going to have an opportunity at the next level. And if Clay hadn't walked on at Western, he would have had an opportunity somewhere else to play. So, you know, excited there. Of course, and we had a lot of kids last year. You know, we've got college golfers now, college baseball kids, so college basketball. So we've got kids in our programs that are advancing to the next level. Might not be Division I, but they still have an opportunity to play somewhere.
Well, I got to imagine you guys are going to have a ton of college baseball kids with how well that baseball program is doing.
Right. Well, we hope so. And, of course, you know, we were talking about the Little League before, because most of those kids, the Southern Little League will come up to us. So that's the one sport we keep hearing about is that, you know, Southern Little League, when they get there, guys, y'all could be doing something. So looking forward to it. And, you know, want to tell them, hey, I don't know if you noticed, we had a good year this year. But excited there about those guys coming up. Just not, you know, in the baseball program and other sports as well. Because one of the things that I really try to get, I want our kids to play more than one sport if they can. I get on my high horse with that because, you know, they just need to help the school. It helps themselves. It helps them in their main sport as well. So we've really done a good job with that. We've had 88 kids last year that played 2 sports.
Excellent.
So we're really pleased with that.
Well, we appreciate it. Again, we appreciate you stopping by. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it. Stick around. We'll be right back.